What if I told you that the most successful people in the world aren't actually smarter than you, that they're not genetically gifted, that they don't have secret resources you don't have access to? They just, I don't know, actually wake up before noon. Revolutionary stuff, I know, truly groundbreaking content. You're probably thinking, wow, nobody's ever thought of that before. And you're right, because it's so obvious that it hurts. So today, I'm going to show you the exact morning routine that separates people who try from people who actually live. And by the end of this hour, you'll either be taking notes like your life depends on it, or you'll convince yourself you're too tired to implement it. Let me guess which one you'll choose. Let's talk about why you're exhausted. And I mean actually exhausted, not the fake, oh, I'm so tired thing you say while scrolling TikTok at midnight. I mean the real, soul crushing fatigue that makes you feel like you're moving through concrete every single day. Most people think it's because they don't sleep enough. And yeah, okay, you're getting 5 hours when you need 8, but that's not the real problem. The real problem is that you're doing everything backwards. You're basically a human being set to hard mode with a handicap speedrun active. Here's what happens. You stay up too late, you scroll, you just check one more thing, then at 2 a.m. your brain is finally getting tired, but plot twist, your body's circadian rhythm is completely destroyed. So you sleep terribly, you wake up groggy, you hit snooze 4 times, and then you wonder why you feel like a zombie all day. And the brilliant part? You think the solution is more coffee, more energy drinks, more stimulation. It's like you're trying to fill a bathtub while the drain is wide open and you're wondering why it never fills up. Genius strategy, honestly. There's a system that elite athletes, CEOs, and people who actually have their lives together use. It's called the three-phase energy system. It's not complicated, it's not expensive, it just requires you to understand one simple truth. Your body isn't broken, you're just running the wrong operating system. See, most people think success happens in the morning. Wrong. Success is actually won the night before, while you're probably watching Netflix and pretending you'll start tomorrow. But sure, let's call that planning. Here's what we're fixing. Phase 1 is about preparing your body to actually sleep. Phase 2 is making sure you don't wake up like a disturbed zombie. And Phase 3 is activating your nervous system to actually function like a human being. 3 phases, that's it. And if you can't get 3 things right, well, you've probably got bigger problems we can't solve in 60 minutes. Let's start with Phase 1, the night routine. This is where 90% of people completely sabotage themselves and then blame genetics. Your job tonight is to set up tomorrow. Think of it like prepping your kitchen before cooking. You're not making the meal, you're just organizing so the meal can actually happen. Now, I'm about to tell you to put your phone away at 10 p.m., and I can feel you internally rejecting this idea right now. Oh no, a tragedy. You might miss a text for 8 whole hours. The horror. Here's step 1 of phase 1. No screens after 10 p.m. And before you tell me you need your phone for an alarm, congratulations, they invented alarm clocks in 1876. Get one, your brain will thank you. Step 2, dim the lights. And I mean actually dim them, not just turn off one lamp like that's going to trick your circadian rhythm. Your brain needs to start producing melatonin. That doesn't happen under stadium lighting. Step 3, and this is where people get weird about it, take a warm bath or shower. A warm one, not scalding hot, warm. Your body temperature actually needs to drop to fall asleep, and a warm shower tricks your body into thinking it's warming up. Then when you get out, it cools down rapidly. That temperature drop signals sleep time. But yeah, just keep doom scrolling at midnight instead. That'll definitely help. Here are the 5 non-negotiable Phase 1 habits. And when I say non-negotiable, I mean if you skip even one, you're basically guaranteeing a mediocre sleep, which means tomorrow you'll blame the universe instead of yourself. Notice how none of these involve positive affirmations or visualizing success or other things people sell you that require you to think when your brain is tired? That's because it actually works. Crazy concept, I know. Master phase 1 and you've already won half the battle. You've basically hacked your sleep. But here's where most people get cocky. They think that's enough. They sleep great, they wake up, and then they immediately ruin everything they just built, which is where phase 2 comes in. And if you thought phase 1 was strict, well, buckle up. Phase 2 is simple. You actually have to sleep. And I know that sounds obvious, but most people sleep like they're in a hostage situation, tense, uncomfortable, ready to bolt at any second. Your bedroom is probably set up like a nightclub. Temperature at 72 degrees, phone on the nightstand just in case, television on for background noise, window blinds open so the street lamp can keep you informed about your insomnia. Here's what phase 2 actually requires. Your room needs to be a sleep cave, and I mean dark. Dark enough that you can't see your hand in front of your face. Temperature between 60 and 67 degrees Fahrenheit. Cold. No phone, no distractions, just you and the void. But sure, keep your phone next to your bed so you can doom scroll at 3 a.m. when you can't sleep. That'll definitely help you fall back asleep. You're a genius. Here's the sleep science part, and try not to fall asleep reading this. Your brain needs complete darkness to produce melatonin at the right levels. Every photon of light tells your brain stay alert, so either invest in blackout curtains or embrace feeling like a vampire. Your choice. Also, that temperature thing, your body literally cannot fall into deep sleep if it's above 68 degrees. But yeah, keep your room at 72 like it's a tropical resort. That's definitely not why you're tired. So when you brag about sleeping 5.5 hours and wonder why you look like you got hit by a bus, this is why. You're not sleeping 5 hours. You're sleeping 2.5 hours and calling the rest lying in bed being conscious. Different activities. The math is simple. Get 8 hours minimum. That's usually 5 to 6 complete 90-minute cycles depending on how fast you fall asleep. Sleep at 10:30 p.m., wake at 6:30 a.m. That's it. But I know you're thinking, but I'm a night owl, or I'm just not a morning person. Congratulations, you've just described a broken circadian rhythm. It's not a personality trait, it's a condition you can fix. Now we arrive at phase 3, the activation. This is where the magic happens, or doesn't happen because you hit snooze and ruined the entire system. Every single time you hit snooze, you're doing something really dumb. You're not getting extra sleep, you're entering another 90-minute sleep cycle that you're about to interrupt in 9 minutes, which means you wake up more tired than if you'd just gotten up. But sure, keep hitting snooze. That's definitely a winning strategy that's going to change your life. Here's what actually happens. Alarm goes off at 6 a.m., you get up. Not after 5 minutes, not after one more snooze, immediately. Your feet hit the floor. And here's the key part. You do this before your brain wakes up enough to negotiate with you. Your brain in that first 10 seconds is still in sleep mode. It hasn't learned to argue yet. So you exploit that window. Feet on floor, lights on immediately. I mean bright lights, sunlight if possible. Your pupils constrict, cortisol floods your system, and boom, you're awake. Your body has about a 20-minute window to get sunlight exposure after waking. If you miss that, your circadian rhythm gets confused again. But yeah, stay inside with the lights off for an hour. That's definitely going to help stabilize your sleep. Here's your 20-minute activation protocol. This is non-negotiable if you want to actually feel awake. Follow this exactly and you'll experience what it's like to not be a zombie. Minute 1 to 2, get up. Lights on. Cold water on face. I mean cold. Not cool, not refreshing, uncomfortably cold. Gasp cold. Minute 2 to 5, drink 16 ounces of water. Your body is dehydrated after 8 hours of sleep.
Drinking water immediately rehydrates your system and increases alertness, but make it water, not coffee, not juice, water. Minute 5 to 12, 10-minute cold shower or cold plunge. I know, that sounds terrible. Yeah, it is. That's the point. Your nervous system gets shocked awake, adrenaline flows, you become functional. This is where most of you quit. You're thinking, I'll just have coffee instead. Sure, genius, let's chemically stimulate your nervous system instead of naturally activating it. That's definitely not going to cause dependency or burnout. Minute 12 to 15, get sunlight. Stand by a window or go outside. Direct sunlight on your eyes and skin. Minimum 10 minutes. Minute 15 to 20, movement. Not exercise, not a workout, movement. A walk, some stretching, light movement that gets your blood flowing but doesn't exhaust you. That's it. 20 minutes, and if you can't dedicate 20 minutes to not being a zombie for the rest of the day, that's a you problem, not a system problem. By 6:20 a.m., your system is fully activated. You've got a full 8 to 12 hours of stable, high-functioning energy ahead of you. But here's where people sabotage everything they just built, the moment they ate breakfast.
You've just completed Phase 1 and Phase 2. Your sleep was perfect. Your morning activation was flawless. You're riding a wave of cortisol and adrenaline. And then you eat cereal. And boom, you've just destroyed the entire system. Not because cereal is evil, or because carbs are bad, or because you're supposed to eat clean. No, because you fundamentally misunderstand what your body needs right now. Your body is in a fasted state. It hasn't eaten for 12 hours. Your cortisol is high. That's good. You want that for energy. But if you flood your system with simple carbs and sugar, here's what happens. Your pancreas says, oh, tons of glucose incoming, and dumps massive amounts of insulin into your bloodstream to manage it. That insulin crashes your blood sugar hard. 2 hours later, you're exhausted, hungry, irritable, and you don't know why because you already ate breakfast. Congratulations, you've engineered a blood sugar crash before 9 a.m. Excellent planning. Here's what you actually need: protein, healthy fat, complex carbs, if any, in that order. Your body needs to stabilize. You're not trying to get full. You're trying to stabilize your blood sugar so you don't crash in 4 hours. Eggs, Greek yogurt, nuts, salmon, cottage cheese, avocado. These things have protein and fat that digest slowly, which means stable glucose release over hours, not a spike and crash in 90 minutes. But sure, eat your toast and orange juice and wonder why you feel like garbage by 10 a.m. That's definitely not your fault. It's definitely genetics. Eat within 1 hour of waking. Minimum 30 grams of protein. That's your formula. It doesn't require cooking skills. It doesn't require being healthy. It requires basic understanding of how your body works. You've nailed the morning. Sleep was perfect. Activation was flawless. Breakfast was on point. Now we need to protect that energy through the day, because the world is actively trying to destroy your productivity. Constant notifications. Your phone is engineered by some of the smartest people on Earth to make you addicted. It's not a bug, it's a feature. And every notification, every ping, every ding breaks your focus and resets your concentration timer. Scientists say it takes 23 minutes to fully re-engage in deep work after an interruption. So if you're getting notifications every 5 minutes, you're never actually working. You're just rapidly context switching while feeling busy, which feels productive but isn't. Solution: silence your phone. Not vibrate, silence. Put it in another room. Seriously, you don't need it. And if you think you do, you're lying to yourself and making excuses. Saboteur number 2, the meal timing trap. You ate a good breakfast, but then you're skipping meals or eating random snacks throughout the day. Your brain uses 20% of your body's glucose. If you're not replenishing it consistently, guess what happens? You can't think. But instead of eating, you drink more coffee, which just makes you jittery and unfocused. Great strategy. You need to eat every 4 to 5 hours. Breakfast at 6:45 a.m. means lunch at 11 or 12 p.m., not 2 p.m., not whenever you feel hungry, on schedule. And the third saboteur, this one's sneaky. The afternoon energy crash. It's 2:30 p.m. You've eaten well, you've slept great, you've had no caffeine crashes, and yet you feel exhausted, like you could literally nap right now. Your body's circadian rhythm has a natural dip in the afternoon. It's called the post-lunch dip or the 2 p.m. slump. It's biological, it's normal, but most people fight it with caffeine or sugar, which just delays the crash. But instead of understanding your biology, you grab a Red Bull at 3 p.m. and wonder why you can't sleep at 11 p.m. It's definitely not because you're fighting your body's natural sleep signals. Here's the fix. Don't fight the dip. Embrace it. If you can, take a 10 to 20-minute nap. Yes, a nap, not a 2-hour sleep session, a power nap. Set a timer for 20 minutes, close your eyes, and let your body reset. If you can't nap, take a 10-minute walk outside in sunlight. Get your heart rate up slightly. This resets your circadian rhythm and pushes that energy dip back a few hours. Now that you understand the basics, we need to talk about the advanced traps. These are the subtle things that sabotage people who are 90% there. Trap 1. The evening exercise. I know, you think evening workouts are better than nothing. Sure, technically you're moving your body, but you're also elevating your cortisol and adrenaline right before bed. Then you wonder why you can't sleep at 10 p.m. even though you're tired. You've chemically stimulated your nervous system into overdrive 3 hours ago. Great planning. Exercise between 6 a.m. and 2 p.m. That's it. If you can't exercise during those hours, skip it. Don't exercise at night. Your sleep is more important than getting your workout in.
Trap 2. The afternoon coffee. After lunch, you have caffeine, and then you're shocked when you can't sleep. Caffeine have a half-life of 5-6 hours. That means if you drink a coffee at 2 p.m., at 8 p.m. you still have half of it in your system. At 11 p.m. when you're trying to sleep, you've got a quarter of it floating around. But sure, tell yourself it doesn't affect you. That's definitely why you can't sleep. Last caffeine intake, 12 p.m. Noon, that's your cutoff. After noon, water, tea, or nothing. Not energy drinks, not just one more coffee, noon. Trap 3. Alcohol and sleep. People think alcohol helps them sleep. It doesn't. Alcohol might make you fall asleep faster, but it destroys your sleep quality. It suppresses REM sleep, which is where your brain does most of its restoration. So you sleep 8 hours, but you wake up feeling like you got 4 because your REM sleep was obliterated. If you're serious about this system, alcohol is the first thing to cut. Not moderately, not just on weekends, completely, at least until you've locked in 30 days of perfect sleep. You've learned the system. Now here's the challenge. Give me 7 days, just 1 week. Follow this system exactly as I've outlined it. 7 days of perfect sleep, perfect activation, perfect nutrition timing, no deviations, no just this once, no I'll start Monday. Starting now. I know what you're thinking. This is too strict. This is too much. Congratulations. That's exactly why you're tired all the time. You want results without adjusting anything. That's not how biology works. Here's what happens if you actually do this for 7 days. You'll sleep better than you have in years. You'll wake up without an alarm by day 4. You'll have sustained energy that doesn't crash. You'll think more clearly. You'll feel less anxious. You'll look better. You'll move better. But sure, keep hitting snooze and drinking coffee at 3 p.m. and eating cereal for breakfast. Those are definitely better strategies. Day 1, you'll feel weird. Your body won't understand why you're forcing it into a schedule. Day 2, you might be irritable because you're not getting your caffeine or stimulation hits. Day 3, you'll start sleeping better. Day 4, you'll naturally wake up before the alarm. Days 5 through 7, you'll remember what it feels like to actually be alive. So here's your choice. You can keep doing what you're doing, keep hitting snooze, keep drinking coffee at 3 p.m., keep wondering why you're exhausted, keep blaming everyone else, the economy, the weather, your genetics. That's a totally valid life strategy. Or you can spend 7 days actually trying, not trying, actually trying. Just 7 days, and then you'll know whether the system works. You'll have evidence. You won't have to wonder anymore. And when you complete the 7 days and you feel like a completely different human being, maybe, just maybe, you'll stop blaming the world and start taking responsibility for your own biology. Revolutionary concept, I know. So the question isn't whether this works. You already know it does. Everyone who's actually tried it knows it works. The question is whether you're willing to try. And we both know you're probably not, but you could be. Life isn't actually easy, but it becomes manageable when you stop fighting your own biology. I'll see you in 7 days when you're a different person. Or I won't, because you'll have hit snooze.